What's up, fam? It's your boy back at it again with another video, and apparently hip-hop has died. Moment of silence. Oh, I was so young. Recently, there's this narrative that's been building about the supposed death of hip-hop. People are saying that in a similar vein to rock and roll or disco, hip-hop is on its way out and will soon be completely irrelevant. There's also another narrative running parallel to this one about rap fatigue and how the genre is basically played out and just relying on gimmicks, repetitive flows, and boring concepts. These arguments are not well thought out, and to say that hip-hop is in a bad place just means that you really haven't been paying a lot of attention. Let me break it down. So the big event that kind of started up this recent round of discourse is what happened with Billboard's top 100 chart. For the first time since 1990, a hip hop song wasn't in the top 40 on that list, which on its face admittedly does sound scary. When you look a little bit deeper into it, you can actually see that the hip hop songs that were on there fell off because of a rule change that happened with Billboard's Hot 100. Luther and Not Like Us, both songs that hit #1 and charted for months, were knocked off specifically because they weren't hitting an arbitrary threshold that Billboard just added. Also, Taylor Swift, arguably the world's biggest artist, just dropped a new album which flooded the charts. While Billboard definitely has its uses and the information that's given there is often used as a representation of what songs are popular at any given time, it just isn't really a great representation of a genre on its own. Now, there is some truth that we're in a bit of a transitionary period for hip hop. A lot of the government mandated mainstream rappers dropped duds this year. Also, a lot of the biggest rappers right now are still ones whose careers took off before 2020. Also, hip hop's market share peaked in 2020 and hasn't necessarily hit the same high since. So if you're really laser focused on some of the trends down within the last year, then it can seem like the game isn't really in a good place. But as soon as you zoom out, you'll start to see that hip hop is fine. Last year, a beef between the two biggest rappers made for one of the biggest cultural moments in the world and took itself to one of the most watched sports events in the world. New releases, even when shitty, are still charting well and streaming well. And there are a ton of amazing releases from artists just this year. The game is so saturated with quality right now that anyone complaining about things being repetitive or boring or uninteresting or just listening to Rap Caviar, I'm gonna be real. This isn't even like a situation where it's 10 monthly listeners and I'm saying, oh no, you gotta listen to this guy, he's dropping the real shit. No, the peak is everywhere. Peak as far as your eyes can see. It's actually never been easier to find the exact type of hip hop that you like. The rap fatigue narrative is just reactionary. No other genre is held under this level of scrutiny. While hip hop is definitely not at the commercial peak that it hit back in 2020, and the mainstream 100% has been experiencing some quality issues, the genre of hip hop itself is just as vibrant and accessible as ever. The mainstream landscape is changing right now, and it's gonna be very hard to predict where it's gonna end up in the future, but trust that hip hop ain't going nowhere. Anyways, like and subscribe, check out the socials, and thank you for watching.